Welcome to Celestial Zodiac. This is your weekly horoscope for Sunday, May 10th to Saturday, May 16th, 2026. This week carries a blend of grounded Taurus energy mixed with sparks of bold movement and emotional awakening. The Sun in Taurus sextile Jupiter in Cancer early in the week encourages growth through stability, emotional security, and practical opportunities. Pluto retrograde in Aquarius continues pushing deeper collective transformation, asking everyone to reflect on power, authenticity, and the future they're building. Meanwhile, fiery lunar energy through Aries and Taurus brings motivation, impatience, and a desire to finally take action on things that have been lingering. By the end of the week, Venus moving into Cancer shifts the emotional tone dramatically, softening relationships and increasing the need for comfort, connection, and emotional safety. This is a week where progress comes from balancing courage with patience. Some signs will feel momentum accelerating quickly, while others may feel emotionally reflective or ready to close an old chapter before beginning a new one. Aries, this week brings a surge of motivation and personal momentum, especially early in the week when your confidence begins returning after emotional ups and downs. You may feel strongly pulled toward financial decisions, career moves, or personal goals that require courage and initiative. The challenge will be pacing yourself rather than trying to force everything at once. Relationships could become more emotionally important by the weekend, especially with family or someone you trust deeply. You may also feel more sensitive than usual beneath your strong exterior. Midweek energy favors taking action on something practical rather than endlessly thinking about it. The weekend encourages rest, emotional grounding, and reconnecting with what truly matters to you. Taurus, this is an important personal week for you because the Sun continues moving through your sign, helping you reclaim your sense of direction and confidence. You may finally begin seeing progress in an area that felt slow or stagnant recently. Opportunities involving finances, stability, or long-term security could quietly develop now. Emotionally, you're craving peace rather than chaos, and you may become less tolerant of drama or emotionally draining people. Midweek could bring important realizations about your priorities or future path. By the weekend, Venus shifting into Cancer improves communication and emotional warmth in relationships. This is an excellent week to focus on self-worth, practical progress, and emotional balance. Gemini, your energy may feel more internal this week as you process emotions, memories, or unfinished situations behind the scenes. While others may seem highly active around you, part of you needs reflection and solitude before your next major push forward. Financial or career opportunities may still emerge quietly, especially through networking or conversations. Midweek may bring an unexpected insight about a person or situation that changes how you feel emotionally. By the weekend, your focus shifts toward finances, values, and building stronger emotional security. Venus entering Cancer can help stabilize money matters or improve feelings of comfort and support. Trust your intuition this week because subtle signs and conversations may reveal more than they first appear. Cancer this week begins opening doors socially and emotionally for you. Support from friends, groups, or professional connections may help you feel more optimistic about your future direction. The Sun and Jupiter energy early in the week boosts confidence and may attract opportunities involving career growth or emotional healing. You may feel more inspired to dream bigger again after a stressful or emotionally heavy period. Midweek could bring clarity around a friendship or long-term goal. By the weekend, Venus enters your sign, making you more magnetic, emotionally expressive, and attractive to others. Relationships become softer and more affectionate, and you may feel ready to prioritize your own happiness more fully. This week helps you reconnect with hope and emotional renewal. Leo, career, visibility, and long-term goals become major themes this week. You may feel pressure to step up, lead, or make important decisions regarding your future direction. Recognition or opportunities could emerge if you've been working hard behind the scenes. At the same time, balancing professional responsibilities with emotional needs may become challenging. Midweek energy can make tempers flare if you feel controlled or unappreciated, so avoid unnecessary power struggles. By the weekend, you may feel emotionally reflective and in need of rest or solitude. Venus entering Cancer encourages healing, emotional restoration, and private reflection. This is a powerful week for reconnecting with your deeper motivations rather than simply chasing external success. Virgo, this week encourages expansion, perspective shifts, and renewed optimism. You may feel pulled toward learning, travel, future planning, or breaking out of routines that have become emotionally draining. Conversations or information arriving this week could help you see a situation differently. Career or financial matters may also begin improving through patience and careful planning rather than impulsive action. Midweek could bring emotional tension involving differing beliefs or opinions, especially if someone is being stubborn. By the weekend, social energy improves significantly, and supportive people may re-enter your life. Venus entering Cancer strengthens friendships, teamwork, and emotional support systems. This is a week for broadening your perspective while still staying grounded in reality. Libra, this week pushes you into deeper emotional territory involving trust, finances, intimacy, or transformation. You may be confronting something emotionally significant that can no longer be ignored. Financial matters involving debts, shared resources, or long-term planning may require attention. At the same time, powerful emotional breakthroughs are possible if you stop avoiding difficult truths. Midweek may feel emotionally intense, especially in relationships where unspoken tensions exist. By the weekend, Venus entering Cancer brings increased attention to career matters and public image. Others may begin noticing your efforts more, and opportunities involving leadership or recognition could emerge. This week is about emotional honesty, empowerment, and learning where your true strength really comes from. Scorpio, relationships become one of the biggest themes of your week. You may feel called to reassess certain dynamics, boundaries, or emotional patterns with others. Partnerships can deepen now, but only if honesty and emotional maturity are present on both sides. The early part of the week encourages compromise and emotional openness. Midweek could bring friction if control issues or stubbornness emerge. Financial discussions or future planning with another person may also become important. By the weekend, emotional heaviness begins lifting as Venus enters fellow water sign Cancer, helping you feel more hopeful, inspired, and emotionally connected again. Travel, learning, spirituality, or future goals may begin calling to you more strongly now. Sagittarius, this week highlights routines, productivity, health, and getting your life back into better balance. You may feel overwhelmed by responsibilities early in the week, but there's also an opportunity to create better systems and habits moving forward. Work or career improvements are possible if you remain consistent rather than impulsive. Midweek energy may bring stress if you're overextending yourself physically or emotionally. It's important not to promise more than you can realistically handle. By the weekend, deeper emotional themes surrounding trust, intimacy, or finances may surface. Venus entering Cancer encourages emotional vulnerability and deeper bonding. This week reminds you that true growth often requires emotional honesty and better self-care. Capricorn, this week brings creativity, passion, romance, and personal joy back into focus. After periods of heavy responsibility or emotional seriousness, you may finally feel more inspired and emotionally alive again. Creative projects, hobbies, or romantic situations could gain momentum now. At the same time, emotional intensity in relationships may still need careful navigation midweek. You may feel torn between responsibilities and your desire for freedom or happiness. By the weekend, Venus entering Cancer strongly highlights relationships and partnerships. Emotional closeness, affection, and meaningful conversations become more important. This is a beautiful period for reconnecting emotionally with others while also allowing yourself to enjoy life more fully. Aquarius, home, emotional security, and inner stability become major priorities this week. Pluto retrograde in your sign continues pushing deep personal transformation, and you may feel increasingly aware of what no longer fits the person you are becoming. Family matters or emotional issues from the past may surface for healing. Midweek could feel emotionally intense if tensions build within your home environment or personal relationships. However, clarity is emerging. By the weekend, Venus entering Cancer helps stabilize routines, health habits, and daily responsibilities. You may feel motivated to improve your environment, organize your life, or focus more seriously on emotional wellness. This week is about rebuilding from the inside out. Pisces, this week encourages communication, movement, learning, and reconnecting with your curiosity about life. Conversations may carry important emotional meaning now, and you may receive news or insights that shift your perspective significantly. Relationships with siblings, neighbors, or close connections could become more active. Midweek energy may feel mentally overwhelming if too much is happening at once, so pacing yourself will be important. Financial matters could also require careful attention. By the weekend, Venus entering fellow water sign Cancer brings warmth, romance, creativity, and emotional joy. Your heart begins opening again after emotional heaviness. This is a beautiful week for artistic pursuits, love, self-expression, and reconnecting with the lighter side of life. Thank you for watching Celestial Zodiac. If you enjoyed this weekly horoscope, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the video with others who love astrology and cosmic guidance. The week ahead brings opportunities for emotional growth, healing, and important breakthroughs, especially as Venus shifts into nurturing Cancer energy near the weekend. Stay grounded, trust your intuition, and remember that even slow progress is still progress. Wishing all of you a powerful and transformative week ahead.